Okay, today we'll be doing the second part of lesson 4 in your workbook. It starts on page 30. And for this first one, it gives you two quadrilaterals. My says that polygon ZSCH is a scaled copy of polygon XJYN. But Noah disagrees. Do you agree with either of them? Explain or show your reasoning. So if you remember from the last shape, or 4-2, when we did that on Friday, that it doesn't have to be a line segment. If your line segments don't fall on the lines, you may want to use a different distance to see if they're scaled copies or not. So when I look at this, I see that I could use X to Y and Z to C to see if they're scaled copies. So we're looking at these distances down here in this table. And first, just up here, go ahead and write what you think. Do you think it's a scaled copy, and why or why not? And then you just put that in there. Okay? But we're going to actually record the distance from X to Y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And from Z to C is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it says find the vertical distance from J to N. So we're looking for this long distance here. Maybe I should get a colored that maybe you could see. So we did this one, and now we're doing this distance. So from J to N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares, and S to H is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. What do you notice about these numbers? If I turn them into a ratio, I would have 4/6 and 6/9. Are those the same? Are they equivalent ratios? Well, hopefully you said yes, they are both equivalent to 2/3. So is polygon ZSCH a scaled copy of XJYN? Yes, it would be 2/3 would be my scaled factor. And it's smaller, so it should have been a number less than 1. When you have a shape that's smaller, your scale factor should be less than 1. So let's just put in here so that you are reminded, scale factor 2/3. Okay, we're going to skip to number 5 now. Here are two more quadrilaterals. And Kieran says that polygon EFGH is a scaled copy of ABCD. But Lynn disagrees. Do you agree with either of them? Show or explain your reasoning. So let's look at all of our ratios. First of all, let's just look at the angles. Are the angles all the same? 120, 120, 120, 120, 60, 60, and 60, 60. Yes. Angles all corresponding. Angles are congruent. They're all the same. And then we have to look at our ratios. So it really doesn't matter, but we're going from smaller to bigger. All right, we're going to put the smaller on top on this one, so we're going to do 1 over 2, and then we have 3 over 4, and we have 4 over 6, and then we have 3 over 4 again. Are these ratios the same? Are they equivalent? No. This is not a scaled copy. This is not a scaled copy. Okay, so when we're making a scaled copy, two things that we're looking for are, number one, are the angles all the same? If the angles are not the same, it's not a scaled copy. Number two, you look for the ratio of the copy to the original. Copy to the original. And if the ratio of copy to the originals are not all the same, then it's not a scaled copy. So those are the two things that have to happen to make something a scaled copy. Okay, in your notes packet today, for lesson 4, I want you to write this. Those two things I just went over. All the distances in a copy can be found by multiplying the original distance by the scale factor. And all angles in the copy have the same measure as their corresponding angle in the original. Okay, that's all for today.